The lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline. And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, a lot of us are amateur meteorologists.
Good weather brings a lot of excitement, a lot of action.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
I have a 911 call of a distressed swimmer.
I like those exciting days where you don't really know what's going to happen.
Dispatch, a person injured on a vessel.
They are there to save you. They are there to lifeguard. Southern California is home to some of the best weather on the planet, and today is no different. With clear skies and temperatures in the upper 70s, it's a perfect day at the beach. But over 6,000 miles across the Pacific Ocean, a giant storm has formed off the coast of New Zealand. Its 80-mile-an-hour winds have whipped the ocean into a frenzy, creating giant waves and a powerful swell. And this swell is large enough to generate waves upwards of 40 feet high. These enormous waves are a nightmare to most, but for competitors at the Billabong Pro Surf Contest in Tahiti, their arrival is treated as a blessing. The pro surfers shred the giant walls of water with incredible skill.
That's the 40-footer.
Beyond Tahiti, the swell roars across the Pacific like a runaway freight train. Its destination, the coastline of Southern California. San Diego lifeguard Sergeant Ed Harris has been tracking the storm since it began.
This is one of our rare big summer swells. You know, we don't often get big swells like this time of the year.
The swell will hit San Diego from the south and is predicted to create surf 10 times larger than normal for this time of year.
Been surfing here for about 35 years, and I don't think I've ever seen a summer swell quite this powerful and long interval, good swell.
The surfers welcome the conditions with open arms, but the lifeguards know that big surf means big danger. This is Wind and Sea, a San Diego hotspot that's notorious for consistent surf and rocky terrain. The lifeguards know that when the waves are this big, Wind and Sea draws a crowd, both in the water and on the beach. Sergeant Harris and his team of lifeguards have settled in and are watching the water for hazardous rip currents, surfers in trouble, or anything else suspicious.
All the guards here are seasoned. You know, they don't work Wind and Sea without being seasoned veterans.
John Maher is a professional surfer and a lifeguard.
We have a big swell, and it's creating quite a bit of dangerous surf. It makes for an exciting and fun work day, that's for sure.
As predicted, today's waves at Wind and Sea are topping out at 20 feet, and the lifeguards are on high alert, because with waves this strong, things can escalate rapidly.
3 Sam, we have a surfer trapped south of Wind and Sea at Pump House. Closest units make contact. Additional units stand by for further instructions.
A surfer is in danger near the rocks, and the lifeguards immediately dispatch resources.
The area that he was coming in, the waves are hitting right up against the rocks, so we didn't have an area that was safe for him to exit the water at.
Equipped with fins and a rescue buoy, lifeguard Brian Crane is first on scene.
Directly in front of me was a really rocky area. Set waves were washing up over on the rock and then coming up through the rocks. So it was just trying to figure out the best, most safe, effective route to get to them.
In high seas, the flat rocks are incredibly dangerous. Moss that is formed on the rocks is wet and slick as black ice. The surfer is in a hazardous location, but lifeguard Crane must enter the water to attempt a rescue.
I could tell he talked to me and said he was in a bad spot.
3 Sam to dispatch, 1 unit in water, 1 unit stand by for backup.
As I was going underneath the wave, pulling him, we were both getting pulled back. Never take the ocean for granted. It's so strong and powerful.
Lifeguard Crane and the surfer try desperately to make their way to safety, but there is no clear way out.
We were both tired at that point, and initially I thought it was just a 2-wave set. So it was just trying to figure out whether we should come in or go out.
With the difficulty of this rescue, additional lifeguards carefully monitor the situation and are prepared to leap in at any moment. With the intense waves, Lifeguard Crane now realizes bringing the victim toward the shore is too dangerous. He must get out beyond the breaking waves. Sergeant Harris radios to a patrolling personal watercraft for backup. Lifeguard Terrence Sawtell was piloting Jet 1.
3 Sam to Jet 1. Need backup at Pump House. Copy, Jet 1 en route.
When we have the big swells, we like to patrol all of the La Jolla area to make sure, see if there's anybody who needs our help. And we were just sitting in the channel at Big Rock when they said that there was a rescue at Pump House, which is an area at Windansea. So we started driving towards Pump House and trying to see what we could do to help out.
As Jet 1 races toward Windansea, Lifeguard Crane has but a few moments before another set of large waves will pummel both he and the victim.
I kind of realized that there was a jet ski out there, and I could hear my other lifeguards yelling to me and telling me to go take him out. So that was going to be our best bet from there.
Lifeguard Sawtell carefully maneuvers Jet 1 into the thundering surf.
So the challenge is trying to get inside far enough that we can get the victim and the rescuer onto the back of the sled while still avoiding the swells that are consistently coming in. Those sets that we were having were 8 to 10 wave sets at a time, and so there's really not much time to get in and get out, especially being in close proximity to the beach. It's difficult to take too much white water in there because you're getting pushed back the whole time. The other thing is the surfer, the victim, he was pretty highly fatigued. And so trying to get them to do anything on their own, getting themselves onto the back of the sled is very difficult. So those take seconds, and seconds in those situations are pretty critical.
Jet 1 brings Lifeguard Crane and the victim out of the dangers of Pump House and drops them near the sandy shore.
Jet 1 to 3 Sam. Pump House victim safely delivered to Windansea Beach. Please advise.
At last, after 20 agonizing minutes, Lifeguard Brian Crane and the trapped surfer are out of the water.
This was the most difficult rescue I've ever had. Just, the size of the waves, the things you have to take, into consideration, rocks, skis, personnel, entry points, how to get in, how to get out.
Safely back on dry land, surfer George Gavitt reunites with some concerned friends.
When I was up there, glad you made it. I saw you, I was like, that's just, you see what happened my board? I saw the whole, yeah, they got it. The guy grabbed it, it's in, yeah.
It was brutal. That's the scariest surfing experience of my life.
And you were like waving off like, no, and
that was the international call for help.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were good. I was like, oh man.
So I came in too far on a wave and got caught on the inside. Lifeguard saved my life.
Watch all episodes of Ice Pilots. Watch on mobile devices or the big screen. All for free. No subscription required. Download Veely now.
Welcome to Huntington Beach, California. This beach town has adopted the title of Surf City, and it's easy to see why. With over 8 miles of beachfront and 16 million visitors per year, someone has to keep all those people safe.
My name is Todd Bartlett. I'm a Marine Safety Officer for the City of Huntington Beach, and I'm about ready to start my patrol. Another beautiful day in Huntington. Currently, it's about 70 degrees out. It's just a beautiful day, no wind, just a little bit of coastal haze, and we have a pretty large groundswell. It's producing some surf in the 6 to 10 foot range. The best part of my job is that I get to work outside, and my main goal is to help people. What happened?
My fin's hitting super hard.
Oh, yeah, like a big, deep bruise? Yeah.
My arm's going like...
Really numb? Right on. Here, let me go get you an ice pack. Have you ever had any problems with your arm before, or nothing? Did you crack any fins or anything like that? Tried out for Lifeguard when I was 18 and kind of been here ever since. I think you just got a stinger, bro. I don't think it's that big of a deal. My oldest brother became a lifeguard, so I kind of followed in his path, and we both are still here today.
Todd Bartlett is patrolling just north of the pier when an emergency call comes in from the far end of the beach.
5020 information, a bystander called from Tower 22, and Guard Elster is requesting paramedics.
Okay, we just received a call for a medical aid at our tower number 22. Guard's down there all by himself, signaling code 2. It's not routine, and it's not life-threatening, but we need to get there as soon as we can.
Matthew Elser is the first lifeguard on scene.
When I first saw the injury, it was a puncture wound. My biggest concern about the patient was loss of blood, as well as the victim going into shock.
Todd Bartlett arrives to assist lifeguard Elser within 4 minutes.
52-20-97.
His training has taught him to convey a calm demeanor in times of stress.
Are you cold, my friend? Yes. Okay, I'll get you a blanket.
The 13-year-old boy has cut his arm during a surf lesson.
I saw him get barreled and the wave came over and kind of washed him out. And then I saw him pop up from the whitewash and I saw that something was wrong. I ran up there and I noticed that he was squirting blood with every heartbeat. My first instinct was that he probably had cut an artery in his arm.
The first assessment was he was breathing, he was looking around. That's always a good sign for us, but we had to really stop the bleeding. Go ahead and put the blanket around him, please. Okay, thanks.
The boy's father waits anxiously by his side, while lifeguard Matthew Elser applies pressure to the wound.
Tide's getting higher too. We might consider moving him up too a little bit. He looked really scared. You could see he was really anxious. His eyes were just full of fear. So I was concerned about that. Okay, we'll lay him down. We're gonna lay him down.
We're losing him.
It's okay.
We're losing him.
It's okay, we got him. It's okay.
Ryan, you're okay, baby. You're okay.
It's okay, buddy.
You're okay, Ryan.
You're okay. Got him to his feet, probably a little bit too quickly, and he started to faint on us. At that point, first concern was getting him breathing. Hey, Ryan, I want to put this mask over your face, okay? This is going to help you breathe a little bit, okay?
Hang in there, Ryan. You'll be all right.
Did you have any other injuries? Did the board hit your stomach or your back or anything like that? No. Okay. And then how long were you guys in the water for?
A couple of hours.
Oh, good. So at least you got a couple waves in, huh?
Yeah, I got a lot.
Were you able to make a fist?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me what finger I'm grabbing?
Yeah. Left from the pinky.
Oh, you're really good. Okay, perfect. All right. So you're doing good. That's a good sign then, okay? I'm just gonna try to clean some of the blood off your arm for you, okay? What city you guys live in?
Houston.
Oh, Houston. Oh, you guys on vacation or?
Yeah.
How's the water? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's pretty cold.
Pretty cold, huh? Yeah, no.
Basically, he was in shock. He was freezing cold. He was shaking, shivering. Our little blankets weren't doing enough to maintain his body temperature.
Paramedics are called in to transport the victim to the hospital.
How's your hands doing? Just really freezing? Okay. Hey guys, how you doing? So we went to transport him. He kind of started fainting a little bit, so I wanted to leave him out here. This is Ryan. He was out surfing. All right. His dad's right here. Okay. Pretty good sized cut on his right arm there.
Looks like it stopped quite a bit.
I saw myself in him because I had an injury pretty similar to that where I actually put a surfboard fin in my leg. I pulled the fin out, so I sympathized with him. I kind of knew what he was going through. You guys want to go head in or feet in?
We'll go feet in.
Okay, perfect.
While paramedics prepare to take the victim off the beach, lifeguard Elser cleans up the boy's blood, and Todd Bartlett discovers how the cut happened.
Where he just kind of came behind him with his arm like this. He just hit it right here, just pulled it right off.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty impressive.
Poor little guy.
He was so amped to go surfing. That's like why he came out here.
Yeah, from Houston, right?
Yeah. Like I gave him a lesson last year, and he had such a good time. His dad brought him out today for this weekend just to surf. So.
He was a young kid. He was probably a teenager. Dad said he was out here on vacation. He just got the plane last night. First thing this morning, he came down to the beach to go for surf. So unfortunately, it happens. And surfing's a dangerous sport, but it's also very rewarding too. So it kind of comes with the territory.
In Long Beach, sunshine and a slight breeze bring out thousands of pleasure boaters. And busy boat ramps mean a busy day for the lifeguards of the Long Beach Fire Department.
I'm Robert Hamilton. I'm a rescue boat operator. Today's weather's 75 degrees, wind speed about 10 to 20 miles an hour. We're looking for big crowds today. We're looking for busy boating traffic, a lot of beach crowds, a lot of beach patrons. It's going to be an exciting day. Bragg Sector, LA, Long Beach Lifeguard Rescue Boat 4. We copied that traffic. We are in that area. We'll take that on.
Robert and his deckhand, John Bird, will spend much of the day patrolling inside the city's harbor, searching for boaters in distress. But out here in Long Beach, you never know what you'll find.
Not sure exactly what we have yet. Possible car in the water at Davies. Oh, looks like we got a car and trailer. When you first see something, you're trying to figure out what you have, and then when you see it's car in a water trailer, your first thing is, okay, are there people in the water?
I entered the water and had enough visibility to be able to see into the cab. The window was down, a small space, the cab. I was able to ascertain there was nobody in the vehicle at that time.
Nobody in
outside. Everything's okay. Fire, this is Rescue Boat 4.
Copy.
This is a vehicle that was launching his boat. His truck and trailer and boat are all together in the water. We're gonna send some divers down to tie it up and have the trailer or the truck driver pull it out of the water.
Copy.
As lifeguards prepare to dive to the sunken truck, the anxious owner disconnects his boat from the trailer.
Hey, I don't want you taking that off. I don't want you to. Stop. Turn your boat off. I don't want you to disconnect it at this point. And where is your trailer? Right. How are you going to get this back on the trailer now is my question to you. All right, does your boat start right now? Yeah. Okay, go take it to the dock, and then I need to get your registration with you and the driver's license. You were backing down and it got slippery?
Yeah, backing down. We need to go truck, go to the ball, it's up down. But I up down, he got up. So truck, everything.
Is it still in reverse right now? Maybe?
Maybe.
Accidents, that's why you have insurance, right?
Yeah.
Tell me you have insurance.
As the tow truck arrives, an amused crowd gathers on the boat ramp.
He was trying to pull his boat out of the water, and his outdrive was down. So we started screaming and yelling for him to stop because his outdrive was hitting the concrete there. So he jumps out of the truck. He didn't set his brakes or put the truck in gear. He came and jumped into the boat, and everything started sliding to the ocean.
Still okay?
The truck? No.
Not okay?
The truck's in trouble. It's gonna need to go to the truck hospital. They gotta fix it. The mechanic's gonna have to really get on that.
Once the pickup is successfully out of the water, the boat is placed back on the trailer and towed out as well. As expected, the damage to the truck is substantial. But to the surprise of the lifeguards, the boat is also completely full of water and must be drained immediately.
Apparently he had a plug or something he didn't fill, so now he's got water been coming into his boat the whole time as well as his car now. So he's having a real wet day.
With a missing plug resulting in a hole by the boat's prop, it's probably a good thing it never got too far from land. This accident is turning out to be a blessing in disguise.
Fortunately, he sunk here at the dock and not out to sea. Without those plugs, the boat's sinking. Had they gone out to sea, that boat sank. You got all these women and children on board. We have a whole different situation on our hands. So the guy, in one way, is relatively lucky that he sunk his car here on the ramp instead of his boat out to sea with his kids in the water.
In San Diego, the tail end of a large swell is still pumping in solid surf. Ocean Beach, at the south end of the coast, is preparing for a large crowd today.
The sun is out, came out really early this morning. We still have quite a bit of surf in the water today. And we're expecting a big beach crowd because it's warm inland, the sun's out, and that just draws all the people to the beach.
Like many beaches in Southern California, Ocean Beach has a signature pier. And with today's strong surf, lifeguards will be watching the pier for anything out of the ordinary.
Two pier jumpers, top side catching the swing. Multicolored shorts, black long sleeve rash guard, the other one green top surfboard.
There's a report of 2 jumpers that jumped off the pier, which is an illegal activity. The sergeant's already responding in his unit, and then we've got a jet ski in the water that's also going to make a meet and escort those guys into the beach. That's an automatic ticket.
Lifeguard Lonnie Stevens pilots a personal watercraft to locate the pier jumpers.
A lot of surfers tend to not want to paddle out through the breaking waves because that's physically challenging. If you walk on top of the pier and jump in, you're instant access.
Lifeguard Stevens quickly IDs the pier jumpers and orders them into the shore, where lifeguards Sergeant Dave Rains and Randy Culler are waiting.
So you jump off the pier? Yeah, man, I'm actually not from here. And I saw a couple of lifeguards doing it out of there, so.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things, jumping off the pier is not safe. That's why we don't allow it. Yeah, the distance ranges from about 15 feet towards the low part, all the way to about 40 at the tip of the pier.
first day we arrived here, we walked checking out the place. Yeah. Lifeguards run past, jumping off the pier.
All right.
So, like, we didn't see there a problem in jumping off the pier.
Well, we drive on the beach. Do you see a problem maybe if you drive your car on the beach?
Yeah, sorry, we're not from here. Like, there is like no sign there. We read there that said no jumping. We saw lifeguards doing it, so we really were unaware. So like,
yeah,
we were fully unaware.
Their explanation was that they had seen some lifeguards a few days ago jump off the pier, which we do fairly frequently for training. But of course, we are very cautious about it.
Like, maybe we haven't seen other people doing it, so maybe we shouldn't have done it, but we really didn't, like, there was no, like, we weren't aware at all that you're not allowed to do it.
Turns out they were from out of the country. They were sorry. They didn't really realize that they were doing that much wrong. That in mind, it really didn't warrant any further action than a warning.
Thanks a lot about that, and sorry again.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All right, gents, no worries.
Yeah,
Good
cool.
afternoon.
Enjoy your day. Thanks so much. They just let us off the hook because we didn't know the rules and stuff, so we're pretty lucky about that one, hey?
The lifeguards of Southern California protect over 400 miles of coastline. And nothing impacts their day like the weather.
As lifeguards, a lot of us are amateur meteorologists.
Good weather brings a lot of excitement, a lot of action.
On these beaches, lifeguards are the first responders.
I have a 911 call of a distressed swimmer.
I like those exciting days where you don't really know what's going to happen.
Dispatch, a person injured on a vessel.
They are there to save you. They are there to lifeguard. Newport Beach is one of the most popular vacation spots in Southern California. Home to the Balboa Peninsula and the legendary surf spot, The Wedge, this typically sunny city is a destination for beachgoers worldwide.
Newport has some unique weather characteristics. It has, of course, the ocean offshore. Behind it, you have Newport Bay and the harbor there. So you get water on both sides of Newport Beach. With a little bit more water like that, it's going to make the air temperatures a little bit cooler.
When Newport exhibits these conditions, there's a tendency for people to stay out of the water. But just because they're out of the water doesn't mean they're out of danger. In the summer of 2011, 17-year-old Matt Mina flew out from Virginia to spend time with his cousins in beautiful Newport Beach.
Well, that day at the beach, the water was too cold, so me and Matt decided to start digging a hole.
For 3 hours, the boys continued to dig. After reaching a depth of 7 feet, they began tunneling.
10 minutes later, I kind of got over it, and he kept digging, and we were just hanging out next to the hole. And we called him out, and hey, you know, Matt, come out, let's play football or something. And we looked down, and the tunnel was caved in, so we jumped down, and we heard screaming.
The tunnel caved in around Matt, and the hole filled. Within seconds, he was trapped in a 10,000-pound sand avalanche.
My brother and my cousin's boyfriend jumped down and started digging while I rushed and sprinted to the lifeguard tower asking for shovels and help.
The Newport lifeguard at Tower 52 sent out the Mayday call, Code 3.
When Matt's cousin told me that he was stuck in the sand, my training kind of took over. So I knew to call it in right away and then just run down and start digging, enlist people around to start helping out and dig until we could get more resources on the scene.
Newport Battalion 6 and responding units. Calling party advised a teenager was digging a 6-foot trench in the sand. They're trying to dig him out at this time.
Captain Brian O'Rourke was on a Newport Beach lifeguard boat when the call came in.
I heard that there's a possible sand collapse, somebody buried in the sand. So I jumped off of the boat and swam in. I got right into the hole, and Matt's family members, they were screaming, and they're going right about there. And we just started digging, trying to just get some sand. Hopefully we could find them within seconds.
Lifeguards and the rest of the fire department worked as a team to take control of the operation, while Matt's cousins watched helplessly from the sidelines.
Who he is? Yeah, I know who he is. Do you know, like, his first name, last name?
After all the fire department cleared everyone out and when they were digging, it just didn't seem like they were digging deep enough and time was running out.
Units from all over the city respond in massive numbers.
62's on scene. We have multiple people digging in the sand.
Trapped without oxygen, the clock begins ticking on Matt Mina. Matt has between 4 and 6 minutes before the risk of serious brain damage.
The day that Matt was buried under the sand, I was what they call the incident commander, or the IC, in charge of the overall operation. So my job is essentially to show up and try and make some organization to the chaos that's already happening.
26 at this time will need additional manpower to assist with digging.
Word of the collapse spreads, sending the beach into a panic. And police are called for crowd control, while more search and rescue teams respond to the beach. Lifeguard Alex Skur arrives 12 minutes after the initial call.
When we arrived at the incident, there was quite a few people in a big circle surrounding the event.
Listen up! Get behind the emergency vehicle! Now!
Went and reported to the incident commander, and he told me to go find Captain O'Rourke and start digging.
Removing the sand posed an immense problem to the rescue effort. With every handful they scooped out, another slid back in. They had to dig outward before they continued downward. 15 minutes in, and Matt was still 4 feet underground.
Based on that, I had to start formulating a plan of what we were going to do and how many resources we were going to need to take care of that. I put one of the captains in charge of just the diggers inside of the hole.
I'm gonna ask everybody to take 5 steps back.
And I had another captain in charge of the perimeter.
Rescue workers teamed with bystanders to create concentric circles of diggers around the point last seen. But even with all the manpower and organization, progress was painfully slow.
After the first 20 minutes when the fire department was digging, I couldn't comprehend it, but I thought he was for sure dead.
Hey, you guys gotta jump back to where the sand was.
A lot of chaos going on, a lot of people panicking, and then we had more resources come in. We just kept digging and digging, but it was frustrating because every time we made a lot of progress digging the hole, it just kept caving in around us. In the back of your mind, it didn't seem like there was gonna be a good outcome in this situation.
Keeping the sand out of the hole proved to be a massive undertaking. Rescuers were forced to widen the opening by 20 feet across, or risk a chance of a second collapse. This extra step took time, something Matt did not have.
In our business, we have what we call an incident clock, and our dispatch center will tell us when we've been on scene for 15 minutes. So in this case, and that starts triggering more alarms in our head. Everybody knows that the human brain can only sustain about 4 to 6 minutes without oxygen.
It had been 20 minutes since the sand collapsed on Matt. The crowd of spectators continued to grow.
And I was starting to become very concerned that this operation was going on for so long that Matt wasn't alive down there. And then I have to start then taking a look at what we're going to do with all these people that are on the beach, all these rescuers that are in the hole, the news helicopters above us. It was just this humongous operation with hundreds of people watching. And if we pull this teenager out that isn't alive, now there's the psychological trauma of everybody else that happens to be at the beach that day.
25 minutes in, people began preparing for the worst, but lifeguards in the hole continued their frantic digging.
I was exhausted digging sand that weighs, so heavy digging out, but it was also like an adrenaline that you don't feel every day.
None of us, nobody on that beach was, giving up until we found them.
These firefighters and these lifeguards and even the citizens, I couldn't have pulled them out of that hole with a taser gun. They were in there, and they were going to stay in there.
For over 30 minutes, rescuers worked at a feverish pace before seeing any sign of Matt.
I remember pretty vividly right when I saw his head and the paleness of his face that I didn't think he was alive.
Didn't hear if he was breathing or not, or out of all the screaming and the crowd, my head just went deaf.
Guys, start backing up. Let's go. Back up.
The first time I saw his face, he was just unconscious. And he just sandy, pale.
Easy, guys. Easy. Whoa. Relax.
That's when I heard him like breathe. Or like, he's breathing. And then all of a sudden I heard him groan, and I'm like, wow, he's gonna actually make it. And there were just cheers from hundreds of people on the beach.
Matt Mina had been lying unconscious under 7 feet of sand for nearly 35 minutes before rescue workers unearthed him.
Matt, for all intents and purposes, and I don't want to be overly blunt, but Matt should not have survived that. 7 feet down, all that weight, all that pressure, and lack of oxygen for over 30 minutes, that's unsustainable for human life. For me personally, in 17 years in the fire business, this is definitely one of the most miraculous rescues I've ever come across.
RT-27, you go to the hole.
Newport office, copy.
90 miles south of Newport is San Diego.
Dispatch from San Diego, responding 3141 Ocean Walk.
This city is home to 70 miles of diverse coastline. From beautiful sandy beaches to picturesque cliffs, San Diego has it all. Just south of Ocean Beach is Sunset Cliffs. Here, there are no traditional lifeguard towers. So veteran lifeguard Sergeant Rick Strobel must make routine patrols of this dangerous but popular surf spot.
We're in an area called Sunset Cliffs. It's a very popular area. A lot of the younger kids like to come down here and jump off into the water. Between the jumping accidents and the surfing rescues, we get so much call activity that we've actually placed a call box right over here. That's a direct line to our dispatch tower. So when we do get the call, we're ready for them. It's a pretty big set coming through.
Sergeant Strobel prepares to move on with his patrol. But then he notices a set of unusually large waves heading toward a small group of picture takers. As the wave sweeps the young girl off her feet, Strobel races to the rescue. Luckily, instead of being swept into the ocean, he finds her soaked, safe, and happy to be alive.
Hey, you guys gotta stay up here where it's dry, okay?
Just taking some pictures of some friends screwing around and sitting up. Saw a wave coming, didn't think it was going to be so high, and it just shot right up, knocked me down.
Yeah, so as the tide goes out, that might happen a little bit more.
Don't people jump from here all the time?
Yeah, it's not a good idea. It's not safe. Yeah, it's illegal and it's unsafe. All right, you guys just stay up here where it's dry, okay?
Okay.
Sergeant Strobel's warnings about cliff jumping are serious. It's a highly illegal activity, but with no permanent lifeguard towers at the cliffs, they must rely on posted signs and people's common sense. But when the summer sun is scorching and the water temperatures are cool, common sense becomes an afterthought.
I saw a lot of guys jumping off the cliffs over here. People come here to have fun, but they don't respect the fact that this is a dangerous spot. The guy came down, did a hesitation before he went. He wasn't all with it. Went in a low spot, hit something, came up, and that was it, you know.
Dispatch to 1 Sam, OB, for 911.
Lifeguard Dispatch has received an emergency call from Sunset Cliffs.
1 Sam. Someone with sounds like a fractured ankle, Sunset Cliffs, and they're on the rocks.
Copy that. We're going to consider this a cliff response. QSAM, code 3.
Cliff rescues are complex, and lifeguards never know what they need until they get on scene. They dispatch Jet 1 for a water approach and a specialized cliff rescue vehicle with a long crane arm.
23-year-old male, fractured left ankle. Medics are rendering aid now.
Jet 1 at the victim. It's going to be at the arch on the first step, about 5 feet off the water.
The victim has been pulled out of the water, but is still in a precarious position. Lonnie Stevens is the first lifeguard on scene.
When we arrived on scene, the victim was in a fair amount of pain. He had no other injuries. He was down a ledge, just out of the water. Maybe talk to IC. Let him know we do have a lot of slippery slope right here.
Incident Commander Sergeant David Raines surveys the situation.
I don't think you can get the stretcher up high enough to grab him and pull him on up.
The angle of the cliffs and the slickness of the rocks make a standard extraction impossible. Adding to the concern, the tide is rising. Soon, the ledge they're on will be underwater.
Set up the low angle rescue, so come up head first. That's
Sergeant Rick Strobel arrives on scene to assist Rains in this complicated extraction.
In the San Diego Lifeguard Service, when there's a cliff rescue, depending on where it is, there is a cliff response. What we want to do is get at least 7 people to a cliff rescue to help with all the different jobs that have to take place. We're going to send a stretcher up head first. So your personnel down there will sort of be lifting it as we're just pulling it. So we'll need some help there.
22, if they want to bring down the morphine, we could do the morphine from here. It's going to be a fairly long extrication.
The 23-year-old male is in extreme pain. Sergeant Strobel and his team jump into action.
Patient care is our primary concern, and paramedics were able to just stabilize the patient, give him some morphine for the pain, and assist us and package him in the stretcher.
By the way, just to give you a heads up, we got the tide coming up really fast.
As the victim is strapped into the stretcher below, lifeguards on top of the cliff rig up a pulley system and begin planning.
These 2 guys are going to be at the edge to help lift this thing on up. Everybody from down below is going to give a lift. These guys are here to get the stretcher when it comes up over the edge. Jacob is going to monitor the belay. All of us are going to pull on this line and just get him up over the edge.
We make a lot of coastal cliff rescues here in the city of San Diego. Lifeguards annually make over 40 coastal cliff rescues. Try to get this close to this one lip right here.
With slippery green moss covering the rocks, the lifeguards will have to shift the victim before attempting the extraction.
Hey, next move, just go up to this one lip. Next one, right? We're going to haul about 2 feet.
1, 2 feet. Right there. 1, 2, 3.
Lifeguards, firefighters, and paramedics haul the victim up the cliff face with extreme caution. Any aggressive movement could further damage his ankle.
Got him.
Nice work, nicely done.
With the victim off the rocks, lifeguards rush him to the waiting ambulance.
People come here to have fun, but they don't, respect the fact that, there's signs everywhere, Stay back, watch out, because it might just be you,
There are signs that are clearly posted in the area, and those signs there are to help people prevent themselves from getting hurt, but people don't pay attention to the signs and they jump anyway. Sometimes it results in injury.
This is Ocean Beach, San Diego. The primary landmark? Ocean Beach Pier. When the weather is good, thousands of people come out to surf and swim in the warm water, keeping the lifeguards incredibly busy. But sometimes saving lives has nothing to do with jumping into the water.
Okay, we had a homeless individual and his friend brought him down to the water to try and kind of basically take a bath. He went in with all his clothes on, and then some people were concerned. People normally don't swim with their clothes on, right?
Right.
So
I'm a recon ranger.
Okay.
I'm sitting here watching.
Okay, I just want to let you know our concern here. If he doesn't have any medical concerns right now, then we're okay with that. But we can't have him swimming right now. He seems like maybe he's had something to drink. I don't know.
He probably has. That's why I'm sitting here watching.
Drinking and swimming is, definitely one of the things that is very dangerous here. I'm concerned for your safety if you get back in the water, okay?
I had to get in the water. I had to.
So can you tell me you're not going to get in the water today?
Yes, sir, I will tell you.
Okay, that's our concern here, okay?
Lifeguard Sergeant Ed Harris arrives on the scene to help.
Didn't smell very good. He said that he wants to get in the water later. He's not getting back in the water today. I don't know.
We can't have you swimming out here when you've been drinking. What kind is it?
It's vodka.
Vodka?
Yeah.
Don't pour that.
Can't have alcohol on the beach, guys. Okay, do you have any more in your bag? Go ahead and leave the beach.
The one gentleman that was in the water, I don't think he left with any bad feelings towards us. He said, that he appreciated us. The other gentleman had his drink poured out by my supervisor, and I don't think he appreciated that at all.
It's not bust, yeah.
Back up if you're not a firefighter or lifeguard.
In the summer of 2011, 17-year-old Matt Mina dug a 7-foot hole in the sand before it collapsed on top of him. Frantically, rescuers dug for an exhausting 35 minutes before reaching it. And to the surprise of everyone, they found Matt alive.
Matt got lucky. They moved his head back and forth and created an air pocket, and that bought him some time. And obviously, if anybody takes anything out of this whole digging situation, just, have fun, build sandcastles, enjoy the beach, but just do not dig these things deeper than mid-shins or your kneecaps. This is not just anything that should be taken lightly. I mean, it definitely could kill you, and Matt got lucky that he's alive today.
6 weeks later, Matt returns to Newport with his mother, Melissa, his father, Manuel, and his sister, Megan. Eternally grateful, the family finally gets an opportunity to meet Matt's rescuers face to face.
Hi, I'm Brian O'Rourke. Hey, Matt, how's it going? No shades. Hey.
Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Excited to see Matt return to the beach, first responders gather for a chance to meet the thankful family.
I'm happy for Matt and his family. This was a miraculous rescue. The people here in Orange County have very good emergency response systems, and it all came together that day.
From the bottom of my heart, man, thank you very much.
News of Matt's return brings more rescuers back to headquarters. And soon his mother, Melissa, finds herself overcome with gratitude.
Being a parent, it changes you. You realize how precious life is. We're so happy and grateful that we were given this opportunity to be here today, to be able to personally come and thank everybody that helped save him.
When was the first time you realized that you got pulled out of the hole and that happened to you?
Probably when I first sat up, I saw all these people, and it started to register that I'm alive, but I just got buried.
So we were very fortunate the way everything played out that day.
The adrenaline that you get doing this job, lifeguarding, is something that is a feeling that most people don't get to feel.
Her mother is just digging and moving massive amounts of sand, and those are the people I'd love to just be able to thank too,
Everybody gave their full effort into that and did not stop, and we're not going to quit the whole time. So yeah, it was awesome.
We thank everybody because he's a pretty special kid.
And when I was down there, my life just kind of flashed before me, all the good times, bad times, it's people you care for. Every single person out there helping to dig. Everybody from fire and rescue, the police, to lifeguards especially. I couldn't thank them more, So I don't think I'd be alive if there wasn't for lifeguards today.